So hi out there in FlossTube land, this is Tina Frazier coming to you from Columbus, Ohio. Today is Sunday, May 2nd, and it's approximately 10:26 p.m. Eastern Time. That's not approximate, but anyway, it is the time. And I'm coming to you today with another installment of my FlossTube channel. This is a channel where I talk about my love of cross stitch, my love of crafting diamond painting in general, and just some general life updates and also some ghost hunting that I do kind of as a hobby and just other things that happen in my life. So if you're a new watcher, thank you for watching. I hope you find something interesting on my channel that will encourage you to possibly subscribe. And if you're a returning watcher, thank you very much for coming back. Hopefully you'll find something good in this video that will kind of enable you. I like to think that I enable people to go out there and buy more stuff because we all need stuff. And if you're a subscriber, thank you for subscribing and welcome back. It's good to see you again. It's always great to have friends and have people come and visit. So a little quick update. My husband, my mom, and I, we actually had some friends over Friday night to play some board games. We're avid board gamers. And prior to the pandemic and everybody just being busy in the holidays back in 2019, my husband and I, we used to play board games with two friends of ours that are habitating together. They're really good friends, and we met them through a board gaming group and some other people that we knew, and we would either go over to their house or they would come over to our house prior to the pandemic and play board games once a week. And we haven't been together to play board games since December of 2019. It's been a long time. So they came over Friday night because we're all fully vaccinated, and we played some games with my mom and kind of hung out. We got some Mikey's late night sliced pizza, and it was great. It was a lot of fun. So we had a blast. They were over here for about not quite 3 hours, and we played a couple games, and it was a lot of fun. So that was really exciting. We're really looking forward to being able to get together with some friends of ours and kind of hang out and do some board games now. So we're hoping to do that about every other week or so. And it's fun because we like board games and we just haven't been able to play with our friends. So hopefully more and more of our friends will be getting vaccinated here, and we'll be able to get together and just kind of hang out and have fun. It's really good. Speaking of that, our county had been in the highest purple stages of COVID cases, and we finally dropped back into the next stage below. So we're back down to red, which is really good because we were the only county in the state for a couple of weeks that was in the purple highest ranking, and it's not a good place to be. So quite a few things have had cut back because of the increasing COVID cases and everything like that. So things are kind of turning around here a little bit for us, and hopefully they'll continue that so we can continue to kind of get together with friends that are vaccinated and have some more fun. So really looking forward to that, and we can't wait. So tonight I have some updates for you. I have a bunch of papers in front of me, so I kind of have to get organized a little bit. But I'm here to talk to you tonight mainly about cross stitch. And this is good. I don't have any notes for this video tonight. I'm kind of just winging it, so it might seem a little more disjointed than normal. Maybe not, because I am a little disjointed anyway, and we'll just kind of wing it. So one of the things I need to talk to you tonight is my May plans. As you know, if you watch any other YouTube channels, I hope you do, about cross stitch, that you know that Stitch Mania is happening for the month of May, and that is whatever the heck you want Mania to be. You can work on one project for the entire month. You can stitch at 10,000 stitches for the month. You can start a new project every day for the month of May. You can start a new project for the first 21 days, since this is the year 2021, you can make Mania whatever you want. So it was started by a few people, I believe back in 2014, 2015, and they started a Facebook group called Stitch Mania. That's STITCH MAYNIA. And it grew and grew and grew and grew. And now there's people everywhere doing it. People on YouTube are doing it. People all over Facebook are doing it. People all over Instagram and, you know, Twitter and everything like that. They're all doing Stitch Mania, and it's MAYNIA, Mania, for the month of May. It has been going on probably for 6 or 7 years now, and the Facebook group is really popular and really huge. Now, about a month or two back, Garrett, who is also known as the Coffee Stitcher here on YouTube, he is one of the admins, or one of the group owners of the Stitch Mania Facebook group. And he and his friend, I believe her name is Katie, he and Katie kind of decided that their life was going in a different direction, and that they were going to go ahead and archive the Stitch Mania Facebook group June 1st, after Mania this year. That doesn't necessarily mean that Mania has to die, you guys. So a lot of people are like, this is the last Mania. No, it's not. It doesn't have to be the last Mania. Mania can, and it should, continue. The Facebook group Stitch Mania will be archived June 1st. Garrett and the other owner, admin of the Facebook group, they need to get, you know, back into real life. So they just need to take a step back, and they've decided the way that they're going to do that is to archive the group. So hopefully Stitch Mania will continue for years to come, and everybody will still be talking about Stitch Mania, even though we don't have the Facebook group home to call ours. So that being said, this Stitch Mania started yesterday. Today is Sunday, May 2nd. And really up until about yesterday sometime, I wasn't even really sure I was going to do Mania. And so I kind of decided that my Mania is going to be a little relaxed for me. It's going to be kind of like how I started off this year, with reducing my participation in some of those challenge groups that I've listed and named off, that I was really trying to get involved in the last 2 years for fear of missing out. I had really bad FOMO, and I just decided that it was too much for me, and I wasn't enjoying stitching, just trying to keep up with all the challenges and all that. So I took a step back for 2021, and I said, you know what, I'm just gonna kind of pick and choose where I want to go and what I want to do, and just kind of keep it flowing, and just kind of work on whatever. If I want to start something, I'll start something, and so be it. So yesterday I was kind of thinking, you know, I have some WIPs in my pile that have not seen love for years. And I decided that my Mania is going to be working on WIPs that I haven't touched in years. So I happened to pull out my first WIP that I haven't touched in a really long time, and I'll be talking to you today about that. So my Mania plans this month. So we're gonna talk about plans right now. My plans for the month of May are, I'm gonna be doing Mania, but I'm gonna be doing my oldest WIPs. So I'm gonna be working on my first WIP that I'll show you here in a bit, my first older WIP, until I get at least 1,400 stitches done on it, thereabouts. I have a meaning for that, and I will get to that here in a minute. And I will talk about that when I get to show you the WIP. But anyway, I'm going to be working on that piece until I either get really sick of it, which means I could potentially work on that WIP. It's not necessarily the oldest WIP, but it is an older WIP of mine, through the month of May. And I may switch to another older WIP. I may not. I don't know. I don't even know if I'll do any starts this month. Maybe I'll just decide that, you know, suddenly I'm tired of working on older WIPs. And yeah, maybe we'll just randomly start something. I don't know. Or maybe I'll just go back to, say, my Animal Crossing WIP, or, you know, whatever else I decide that I think I might want to work, that might be kind of fun to work on. So I've kind of picked May as my older WIP month. So yeah, that's what I'm doing. So that is part of my plans for the month, and also part of my other plans. So I will get this out. The first thing that I will go and show you is WIPGO. So you all know I've been participating in WIPGO, and this month square 19 and square 22 is picked. So square 19 for me down here is work on a piece, new or WIP, with fancy floss or silks. And I have to do 500 stitches or 1,010 stitches on it. So I have quite a few projects I can do for that. Like I can start a Glendon Place. Those I think use dinky dyes, which are silks. I can use any of the ones with Weeks Dye Works, so I could finish, you know, something with Weeks Dye Works. I can start something with Weeks Dye Works, whatever. I just have to do 500 stitches in it. And then the spin decision wheel to pick your WIP. So there is this app that I have for my phone, and you can, if you have an Android phone, you can get it too. It is called Decision Roulette. And I have my WIPs loaded here, and it's a little decision app, and it says what to choose. So you can go in here and you can spin, and you can see I have several different roulette wheels to choose from. So I have my WIP Parade, I have Spin a Sal, New Starts, Mill Hill Roulette, and my 2021 Mania, which is basically just a copy of my WIP Parade. Not all of my WIPs are in there, because there's some of them I just didn't even want the option to have to stitch. So I have to spin the decision wheel for square 22 for my WIPGO. So I am going to spin the decision wheel now for you, and we're going to pick my square for number 22 for WIPGO. All right, so I'm going to go into, that's the Mania one. So I'm going to go into my WIP Parade. So this is my WIP Parade. And I have, so you see here, I have 45 options in my WIP Parade. This is my WIP Parade. I have 45 options. I have well more than 45 WIPs in progress, and there are a couple of extras in here. I think I have a space for Start Something New. Yeah, I have a space in here for New Start and everything like that. So I am doing my spin for WIPGO for you right now. All right. So here is my spinny for the WIP Parade, and I will go ahead and spin the app. What's it gonna step on? Something with a picture. Floral Totoro. Okay, so now I get to mark that down. So it is the Floral Totoro that it picked. Yay! So let me go ahead and mark that down. What did I do with my pen? Beep, beep, there it is. So we have Floral Totoro. Floral Totoro. This is for May. All right, May. Floral Totoro. So my Floral Totoro will be coming out at least sometime this month, and I have to put 500 stitches in it. That is a piece that I haven't worked on in a little while, and I don't know that I necessarily have a picture of it here to show you. If I do, if I have one on my desktop, I will insert the picture of it here. But if I happen to not have a picture of it, I will show it to you hopefully on my next video with maybe some progress on it. So one of the other things I wanted to talk to you about WIPGO. So for April, I had this square up here, Carolyn Manning, Aquamarine. I had that done like the first or second day in April. So I had to work on Aquamarine, and then the other one was complete a started Mill Hill kit, or 500 stitches. So I was working on the Enchanted Pumpkin by Mill Hill. I don't have that with me down here to show you, but I have not yet finished the stitching on it. I don't even know if I have a picture of it. Bear with me just a minute. Let me check something. No, I don't have a more recent picture of it, but here is where I was the last time I took a picture of it on my phone. I have got all the empty space in there. All this orange is filled in. I finished all the orange in that open space right there, and I started working on the black. I got all the swirls in the top of the pumpkin done, so all the swirls on the top of the pumpkin, and then I was working on the swirls down here in the corner with black floss. So I still need to finish my March square, or my April square for Enchanted Pumpkin, but that is coming along. So hopefully I'll also have an update for you on that in the next couple of videos. So be watching for that if you're interested. And then hopefully I'll have at least some sort of update for you for this, along with more Mania update, see what other projects I'm working on. So there's that. Okay. For the magazine monthly challenge, the theme this month is Mayflowers, and the acrostic is Daisy. You can see I have not yet filled out my form for this because I haven't decided what magazine piece I want to pick as my theme. One of the things that I did, so while we're on Magazine Monthly Challenge, the Magazine Monthly Challenge Facebook group is a group that was started towards the early fall last year. A couple of ladies decided to start it because they know that a lot of people have magazine patterns that don't see a lot of love in other challenge groups. So they created the Magazine Monthly Challenge group to get people to focus on their magazine projects. Those are the projects that you find in magazines, either over that you buy at the store or that you have a subscription to. And I actually have a subscription to The World of Cross Stitching and Just Cross Stitch magazine. And I just signed up for a 2-year subscription to Punch Needle and Primitive Stitcher. I wasn't originally a subscriber to Punch Needle because I'm not a prim stitcher per se, but the last few issues have a couple of really cute charts in it. And there's one issue that I have from 2020 that quite a few people were doing a stitch along for. The Steel City Stitchers were doing a hedgehog stitch along for the Hedgehog House, and it's a Lindy Stitches design, and it was published in this Punch Needle and Primitive Stitcher magazine that I have. So after watching their videos recently for April, where they were doing the Hedgehog House sale, I think I'm going to stitch that. I do have it in the magazine. So that's probably going to be one of my focuses for the Magazine Monthly Challenge coming up soon, where it'll be a new start. But this theme this month is Mayflowers. I was going through, these last 2 weeks, I was going through my magazine collection, my cross stitch magazine collection. A, because I wanted to get it organized, and B, I just needed to get something taken care of. So before I was organized, here's some of my cross stitch stash that has been sitting next to my desk where I film, right down here below next to me. So that is some of my stash, and I turn it sideways so you can see it. This was my organization of a lot of my cross stitch magazines. That's my cat Harvey right there. But this is this was when I was sorting through my magazines. This big stack right here in the middle, that big stack right there, are my Just Cross Stitch magazines. That includes the holiday issues and the ornament issues, the Halloween and ornament issues. This box, this white box right here on the floor next to the orange crate, that white box right there has all my UK magazines in it. So that's Cross Stitch Gold, World of Cross Stitching, Cross Stitch Crazy. All the UK magazines that I have are had already been sorted and put in that box. I got the magazine boxes from my local comic shop that my husband goes to. I have 3 of them, and I was going to put all the magazines in the 3 magazine boxes. So you can see there's another thing with all my UK magazines in the box. And then let's see. So this is the magazines that have been sorted. I finally put all the magazines in the boxes. So my magazines have been sorted into their respective boxes. And that is a good thing, because now I can easily go through for the magazine monthly challenge and hopefully be able to pick out themes a little easier. And I also kind of know sorta what magazines I have, which will make it nice, because for Punch Needle and Primitive Stitcher, I only have the 1 issue. I wasn't sure how many I had, and I'm not sure if I'm going to be getting the spring one that you can buy in the store that's really, really cute. I'm not sure if I'll get that one in the mail or if I'll get the next issue in the mail, because I just signed up for it this week. So if I do get the spring one, then I'll have that one. If not, then I know I need to go buy it. I'm also kind of hoping to be able to download the past issues, because I'd really like to have those on hand now too, since I'd like to go back and see, you know, what patterns in there I might actually be willing to stitch now, because, you know, my ideals have changed for cross stitch patterns, so I'm finding I like different things now. But I don't know for the theme for May what I'll do. And the acrostic, you can pick any of your WIPs. It doesn't have to be magazine focused. What a lot of people do is they focus the theme on the magazine, and then they pick any of their other WIPs and try and fit them to the acrostic. And May's acrostic is Daisy. So then the 24 hours of cross stitch, you guys all know that the last full weekend in April was the 24 hours of cross stitch marathon. I kind of sort of participated. I was in the Zoom room a couple of the nights over the weekend and everything. They came out with the May acrostic, and it is needle minders or through the fabric. Needle minders or through the fabric. And it's called This or That. Their acrostics this year are based on this or that. So how do you keep your needle secure? Put it on a needle minder or store it through the fabric. Needle minders or fabric. So I'm more a needle minder person nowadays than I am through the fabric. When I first started cross stitching, I used to put my needles through the fabric and store them that way. But needles can rust and they can stain your fabric. So I don't do that anymore. I only have 2 or 3. Actually, I have 4 marked on here for needle minders. The N for me is the Needlewoman Murder Mystery. So the Needlewoman Murder Mystery is a pattern by Curtis Behringer that came out probably in 1999, I believe. It's been a long time. It's been like 20 years since that pattern came out. And it came out in pieces, so it was part of a series. Which is interesting, because I just realized I could use that one for like another Facebook challenge group. But anyway, it came out and it was part of a series where you got the first part, you'd stitch the first part, and you'd stitch it to try and find the clues to who did it, who done it. And it was riddled with errors and everything like that. And I don't know of anybody that I know personally who I know of has worked on it that has finished it. I got through pretty much all of part 1, and I don't even remember how many parts there are to it, just off the top of my head. I will have more information on that as I work on it, because it's probably going to be part of Mania for my older WIPs. But yeah, Needlewoman Murder Mystery. I might be able to see if I can Google it for you. Let's see. Murder Mystery Chapter 4. It's murder in 13 leaflets. So here is the first leaflet, leaflet 1. So anyway, let's see. Need a woman murder mystery. I don't know if anybody even has any. Murder in 13 leaflets. Amazon, Nordic Needle. Yeah, you can get it on various places. I think. I don't know that anybody's gonna have. I don't know. I don't know if anybody's gonna have any pictures on it, on what the finished pieces look like. I haven't actually looked anything up to see if anybody's finished it and if they posted pictures. But anyway, so that is that. That's part of Mania. So it's also on my 24 hours of cross stitch May acrostic. The first E is the Enchanted Reindeer by Donna Gelsinger. That is a Heaven and Earth design. And then for M, I put Medieval Fantasy Triptych. My goal is 1,000 stitches. So I am in Sane Stitchers as well. I'm using the Teresa Wentzler Fantasy Triptych as my first Mania piece, and I'll show you the update for it here in a minute. But that I have 1,000 stitches. I'm kind of on my way for that right now. So I've got a couple hundred stitches in it so far the last 2 days. So I'm well on my way to finish that. And then the last S at the bottom is Santa of the Forest. That is an MLI chart. It's the Santa with the bear and the wolf and the dove and the owl wearing a hood with a staff. You've probably seen a bunch of people doing that. Vonna Pfeiffer, the Twisted Stitcher, she wanted to do big ass Christmas sale. So she's like, she started that sometime last year. She decided that she had that in her stash and she wanted to stitch it. So she decided to start the big ass project Christmas sale, the BAP sale for Santa of the Forest. So I have that on here because that is also one of my older WIPs. I have almost all the bottom half done with the animals and stuff, and I'm working on the beard. The last part I worked on was the beard. Once I get the beard done and the hood and kind of the semblance of the hood and cloak, my thought is to stitch the face over one, because I like all my faces over one. I just think they look really cool. I have always done my faces over one on linen, and I just think they look a lot better that way. That's just personal preference. But that's what I'm going to do. So this is Santa of the Forest. Again, that S, 3 of these on here are, except for the Enchanted Reindeer, the 3 of them on here are kind of keeping along with the Stitch Mania older WIPs. So for the 24 hours of cross stitch May holiday, I actually have one on here. May 2nd is known as Brothers and Sisters Day. So, I said I've been working on Teresa Wentzler's Fantasy Triptych. So, here is the chart cover for Fantasy Triptych. This is Teresa Wentzler. And you can see there's a lady and a knight, and it's medieval. That's why I have it as my M for the 24 hours of cross stitch acrostic. So, the people in here could be brother and sister. The lady and the knight could be brother and sister. So, I actually get to fill in a holiday on that because I stitched on it today for May 2nd. So, so I was able to do one stitching. The goal is to do at least 12 of the holidays for the month. So, yeah, so I was able to actually do that. It's probably one of the first things that I really was able to do for that. So, for the free cross-stitch cell group, Creatively Crafting, they have the May Stitchy Mission is out. The goal this month is 7,200 stitches. For every 100 stitches you put in, you fill in an X. The goal is to complete 7,200 stitches this month. I haven't finished filling out April's yet. I have until May 6th to enter my entries for it, but I need to count up all my stitches for April. It was, if you remember, it was the shape of a bunny face. And as you can see, this spells out Mania. Mania. So then for May Stitcho, which is part of the group, there's these different categories that you can stitch on for this month. I already have one filled in. It is stitch 100 stitches in a sitting. So I stitched 167 on May 1st. So I was able to fill that in. Some of the other stitchos include spend 30 minutes stitching with red, 30 minutes with white, 30 minutes with dark colors, 30 minutes with yellow, 30 minutes with green, 30 minutes with blue, 30 minutes with purple, stitch 200 sittings in a setting, or stitch 200 stitches in a sitting, stitch 300 stitches, 400 stitches, or 500 stitches, stitch 3 days in a row. I'm on day number 2, so if I stitch tomorrow, I get to fill that in. Stitch 5 days in a row, clean up and organize your stitching spot. Unfortunately, I don't get to count organizing magazines for this month. Prep a new small project and share in the group. Spend an hour stitching in a different spot. Spend a stitch session enjoying silence while you stitch. Share your best tip on dealing with a frog. Ribbit. Share your favorite cross-stitch meme in the group. And clean and organize your pattern stash. So those are the stitchos for this month. And then May WIPGO. This is where you fill in your WIPs. I actually ended up crossing out a lot of stuff and putting in the oldest WIPs that I plan on working on for Mania. So like the Needlewoman Murder Mystery, Santa of the Forest, and Teresa Wentzler got quite a few squares on this. And to keep it interesting as well, I put my Animal Crossing cell on there because I was working on that at the end of April, and I'm kind of into it right now. Any Thomas Kincaid, I have several old Thomas Kincaid kits that I have started that can fall into Mania for older WIPs. And Enchanted Pumpkin, I'd like to finish the stitching on that. And then my Fireside Original Seahorses of the Month. So, and then I also have a spinning on the roulette wheel if I choose to do that. So here is the WIPGO. And you can see I crossed some out for that. At the end of May, you get your points based on that, and then you get put in a drawing if you submit it. So your goal, the deadline to add your entries is June 4th. So drawing will be on June 6th. And you get a free Tinkerbell pattern. That is what Tinkerbell looks like. This isn't in color, but you get a free Tinkerbell pattern. That's really cute. So we'll see how many entries I get and everything like that. So that is the May Stitching mission from Creatively Crafting. So I'm going to be participating in that to the degree that I can. And that's pretty much it. So, well, that's not pretty much it. Anyway, so for, let's see, I talked about that, WIPGO. Full coverage Fanatics this month, they're doing the bookshelf challenge. There are 3 books that they have picked, and you stitch those number of stitches. It's Short History of Nearly Everything, Midnight in the Garden of Good and Evil, and Hidden Figures. I kind of have been wanting to read Hidden Figures, so maybe, you know, that might be one I can do. They're also doing Wheel of Fortune. So you you stitch the letter count for the words listed. There's some words on the Facebook group. This is for Full Coverage Fanatics. It's the Full Coverage Fanatics Facebook group. Sane Stitchers, there's the May Focus. Letters of Fortune is like Wheel of Fortune Hangman. I'm not participating in that this month. Needleworker Soup, that is the one that I'm going to be participating in for this month. So basically what you do for Needleworker Soup is you go to 123stitch.com and you pick a pattern that you kind of want to buy. It's like a wish list pattern of yours. Pick a pattern you want to buy. So you have the cost of the pattern, which equates to the number of stitches that you have to stitch. So say your pattern is $14.99. You have to stitch 1,500 stitches in order to buy the pattern for Needleworker Sweep. And then you have, if it's got beads, you have all the bead packets to buy by stitching those number of stitches. Same with the floss, same with the fabric, everything like that. If you can complete your whole kit in the month of May, you get extra points and extra goodies for the end of the year thing. So I'm kind of doing Needleworker Sweep. The piece that I chose was Glendon Place Red Velvet Cake. So this is my 1, 2, 3 stitch. This was my 1, 2, 3 stitch selection. Red Velvet Cake by Glendon Place. So I know right now that I have to do 1,439 stitches. So 1,440 stitches on Teresa Wentzler just to purchase the pattern for this, because you go by the sale price. And then I will take all of the floss and everything that you have to get for it, and that's the amount that I have to stitch. But I've chosen Red Velvet Cake because I have some of the Glendon Place mandalas, and Red Velvet Cake is on my wish list, so that is what I'm going to be stitching. I don't know if I'll buy it if I complete the stitching goal. I might just buy it anyway, but I haven't bought it yet. And so I am actually doing semi-sane Needleworker Sweep with Glendon Place Red Velvet Cake. Then Ancient History, you work on your oldest WIP. Well, I'm kind of doing that for Mania, so I'm not really going to participate in that. And then WIP days. So there's 4 WIP days for the month, and there's Paranormal on May 3rd, which, you know, anytime during the month you can stitch on a Halloween, ghost, or spooky pattern. 5/4 is May the 4th be with you, Star Wars Day, so you stitch on a Star Wars themed pattern. 5/20 is a Rescue Dog Day. You stitch on any piece that has a dog. 5/23 is World Turtle Day, and you stitch on any piece with a turtle. So you can do any of those things for WIP days. I'm not going to do that. I'm just focusing on Needleworker Sweep. Let's see. So for Enchanted Stitching Challenges, the movie is Marvelous Mayhem. The movie theme this month is Marvelous Mayhem. So you can watch Iron Man 2008, Hulk 2008, Iron Man 2 2010, Thor 2011, Captain America First Avenger, and The Avengers 2012. I'm not a big Marvel, DC Heroes comic person, so I'm probably not going to watch any of those movies for Enchanted Stitching. And they're also doing what's called Marvelous Mayhem, so they have 10 different prompts that you can stitch for the month of May. And yeah, I don't know if I'll do any of those for Enchanted Stitching. Again, it's just because, I'm picking and choosing, and I'm doing Mania. So for Cross Stitch Frog Busters, weekend pushes, there's a weekend push that ends tonight. Firefighter Stitchathon, where you stitch on blue or red color, goes from 5/5 to 5/12. 2-week Tuesday road trip jumps to Virginia from 5/11 to 5/25. The May freebie sale this month is Hands Across the Sea. That's from 5/17 to 5/31. And Stitcher's Choice Stitchathon goes from 5/19 to 5/26, where you can pick any WIP and stitch on it. That is Cross Stitch Frog Busters. Cross Stitch Finish Line, their Stitchathon weekends. One ends tonight. One goes the 14th through the 16th, and the other one is the 28th through the 30th. And then their one in a series thing, which actually My Needlewoman Murder Mystery is actually probably due that. Goes from 5/3 to 5/7. So starting tomorrow. I don't know if I'll pull out the Needlewoman Murder Mystery because I'm still kind of really into Teresa Wentzler right now. But if I were going to participate, I'd probably use the Needlewoman Murder Mystery since it's 13 parts. There's lots of things going on in the Dynasty of Dragons. That is a new role-playing cross-stitch challenge group. And then I talked to you about Mania. So that is everything that I have. And that is all I have for plans. So I am doing Mania, and I'll be going through WIPGO, trying to get a few things done with that and everything like that. So on to that. Before I get into Teresa Wentzler, I'm going to show you an update with my Animal Crossing Sal. So Cunning Cross Stitch is a Facebook group that has created a free Animal Crossing Sal, and the frame came out either December or January. I am still working on the frame, but I didn't have a lot of this confetti done here. This is yellows and like lime greens. I didn't have a lot of this confetti done here, so I've been working on the confetti in this piece and enjoying it a lot. I also got this red motif here. As much as I love Animal Crossing, I'm having trouble figuring out what that's supposed to be. I think it's supposed to be cherries, but I don't know. I'm having trouble figuring out what that motif is. But yeah, so this is Animal Crossing Sal. This is where I'm at now. A lot of this confetti is done. So, this may continue to come out this month. I don't know yet. As kind of a filler to get away from my oldest WIPs. But anyway, that's where I got for the end of April on the Animal Crossing Sal. I was having fun working on it. So, there you go. That can go back upstairs. Now, for Teresa Wentzler. So this started May 1st. And this is one of my oldest WIPs that I have. It's one of my oldest WIPs. Teresa Wentzler, Fantasy Triptych. Those of you that have been around cross stitch for a long time know that one of the things that Teresa is known for are her blended threads. So this was the original chart pack that I got. You guys, you see all these green highlighted things? Those are all the blended threads in this bloody stinking pattern. Those are all the blended threads in the bloody stinking pattern. Yeah, Teresa's known for her blended threads. Yeah. So anyway, this is the piece that I'm working on. So a little backstory to this. Back when I first bought the chart, about the time it first came out, I bought the chart, and I had started stitching it. I had a good majority of this panel done with the lady, and a good majority of that panel done. I had almost all the background done, and I was getting ready to stitch on her. I decided, we went to Marcon, which is a science fiction fantasy convention here in Columbus, that we were going to back then. We're no longer going there because it just isn't our thing. But I took this piece with me because all I was going to do was stitch for the entire weekend because I wasn't interested in doing any panels or participating in anything. So I was going to stay in the atrium and sit and stitch on this the whole weekend. And I ended up getting pretty much all of the border around the castle and the two other panels on the triptych done. Only to realize that I had a 1/2 inch fabric border all the way around. The piece of linen that I had cut for me for this was cut too small. And I had all that stitching done on this. The blended threads in the background. It was kind of heartsick. And I ended up going to my cross stitch store here in Columbus, Cross My Heart. And they cut a deal with me. They said, yeah, our framer isn't going to be able to frame that for you with a 1/2 inch fabric all the way around. I was like, oh, dang it. And so they knew how heartsick I was because I had all the work done in it. So they made a deal with me, and they gave me a really good deal on a new cut of fabric. So I have a new cut of fabric, and then I started it down here. I started working in this corner. I started working in this corner of the castle right down in here. So I got some of the border done, and about half the green here in the castle panel. Nope, it's over here. This part. This is where I got. And I put it away. Because this Teresa Wentzler, it has a lot of blends. It's very fiddly. Yeah. You have to really be paying attention. And I restarted this back before Pattern Keeper. So I was working on a paper copy, and you couldn't search. You can't search paper copy for your symbols. So, anyway, where I was, I will show you here. When I first started this, oh, so I was talking about all the blends. Here is my ring that has all the blended threads, because when I first kitted this up, I kitted a big ring with all the main floss colors, and then I got these and kitted up each of the, cut lengths of floss for each of the blends and put each blend in its own little packet. And that is my blended ring. So yeah. All right. So I will show you this. This is where I was at with Teresa Wentzler. So you can see that I have half of the green in the middle. So I had gridded the middle here and here. That was the only gridding I had done. And then I had started in the bottom corner of the castle. Okay. And here's a closer up picture of where I was. So, the middle of the chart, this is the middle of the castle piece. This is the male over here. This is the male panel. So I've gotten some of the borders done. That is where I started. So I knew I was going to start working on this. So I got my biggest scroll frame that I could. I took off my Long Dog Pandemic off of the scroll frame because I wanted to use this scroll frame for this piece so I could see it all one fell swoop, and it would make it easier for me to stitch. So I also wouldn't have to put it in a Q-snap. And I had to use some of the Easy Stitch basting Velcro tape for the piece because that scroll rod I have the Velcro tape Easy Stitch no basting system stuff on there. So I had to add the basting tape to my fabric, and I put it on the scroll frame. And in the last 2 days, I actually have a lot done. So this is the piece, and you can see that I have moved farther over this way and up the side, and I've also moved across the bottom and up the side, and I'm starting the curve up here for the thing. So here it is. That's pretty much as big as it's going to be, but that's where I've gotten in the last 2 days. This stitch is a blended thread. The border, that is a blended thread. So I've pretty much been working on the blended thread all the way across so far in the couple hundred stitches that I've put in it this weekend so far. So I think I'm making pretty good progress to kind of get back to where I was. So yeah, that is where I am at. All right. So, that is pretty much it. So I showed you the 2 WIPs that I have progress on for this week, and hopefully I'll be able to show you more progress on the Teresa Wentzler. Hopefully I'll be able to dig out the Needlewoman Murder Mystery for you, and maybe Santa the Forest. It depends on what I choose to do for the rest of May. And that pretty much is it, everybody. It's a little shorter video this week. I was hoping that it would even be shorter, but this took a little while to get through. Not sure when my next video is up. I know I say that all the time. I'm not sure when my next video will be here. It really depends on how I feel. It really depends on everything like that. Work has kind of basically said that they're expecting up to about 50% of our building to be going back to the building by the end of July or August. I don't know what that means for us. Our manager is trying to push for us to remain at least hybrid, part of the time in the office and not full-time in the office, because we're just a support team and there's no reason for us to be there. So until I know more, this came down earlier this past week, that 50% of the workforce would probably be showing back up to the building. They'd be starting off with volunteers in May. Not volunteering. I mean, I kind of miss being in an office setting and like interacting with people, but I don't miss going to the office. I don't miss it. I'd rather stay home. There's a little more flexibility, and I don't feel like people are, where are you? Why aren't you at your desk? Why aren't you working? I am working. I'm getting my work done. So, yeah. Don't need to be babysat. Anyway, so it all kind of depends on how May goes and what information we find out about work and when we plan on starting work. Also depends on how gaming goes and getting together with friends and just everything else in general. My hubby and I, we're trying, hopefully. I may be actually going to a ghost hunting event sometime later this month down in Marietta. It's going to be another tour of the Lafayette Hotel down in Marietta, Ohio, that I did the Lights Out lock-in a year ago in January with my mom. That's where we met Dalen Spratt from Ghost Brothers. But I might be going down to Marietta for that weekend to do another ghost tour of Lafayette Hotel. I don't know yet if I'm doing that or not. And hubby and I may be trying to get away for a weekend, just the two of us. So I don't know if we'll do that in May, June, July, or August, September, October, whatever. I don't know when we'll be able to do that, but hopefully soon, because we really need some just me time. And we also kind of want to go camping, but I don't know if we'll actually do tent camping or if we'll just go get a cabin somewhere or go rent a yurt for a weekend, a long weekend. I don't know. But and Mother's Day is coming up next Sunday too. We need to find out from Mom what she wants to do. So yeah, happy Mother's Day. If I don't know you, happy Mother's Day to those of you out there that will be celebrating Mother's Day next weekend. Yeah, don't know when my next video will be. It kind of depends on life, and it kind of depends on how I feel, and just everything, my Stitch Mania, how it's going, and everything like that. So you may see me a couple more times in May. You may see me once, or you may not see me until the end of May for June plans. I hope everybody's doing well. I hope you're staying safe. I hope you're wearing your masks. I hope you get vaccinated. Please get vaccinated. It's kind of important if we want to get past this whole thing. We don't want to be like India. India had 400,000 cases of COVID in one day. 400,000 cases in one day. We don't want to be India. Get your vaccinations, wear your mask, and social distance. It's the only way we're gonna stop being like India. They're also burning people in the streets. They're burning their bodies. They have like random parking lots that have become crematories. It's scary out there, you guys. Let's not be like India. Wear our masks, social distance, get vaccinated. Yes, I know vaccination doesn't keep you from getting it. Get vaccinated anyway. It wasn't too bad. you know, I didn't really have much effect at all. But anyway, so we will see you soon. Until my next video, keep on keeping on, because that's all you can do. And we'll talk to you soon. All right. Keep watching though, because since I'm going through my magazine stash, and I've gone through my magazine stash, I have a stack of magazines. I'll probably end up giving away a couple of them in the next couple of months. So keep watching for that, and we'll see you soon. All right. Until next time. Bye.